Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you week number 2 of the Race Survival series. Really hope that you enjoyed that week number 1. A big shout out to StarCast TV for hooking me up with these amazing Pro Gamer replays. So week number 2, let me read you off the lineups here. You can, of course, see in the bottom right who is playing, but Team Terran is going to be represented by Barracks, Sharp, and Sock, a ridiculous Terran lineup. Protoss, just as ridiculous with Snow, YSC, and Mighty. And then Zerg, maybe even more ridiculous than those two, with Soma, Action, and Yabsab. So a pretty awesome lineup here. In fact, only 2 players haven't been in ASL. In fact, only 2 players haven't been to at least around a 16 in ASL. And that would be Mighty, who is not playing here. This is not Mighty. But he is one of the best Protoss players out there, one of the best up-and-comers, and of course Yabsab, who is a high finisher in ACS and really looking to get into ASL very soon. So an awesome, awesome lineup. It's going to be a great series. Again, if you aren't so familiar with the Race Survival series, it is a kind of King of the Hill winner stays format, and the winning, like a race wins, right? Like even if you have a player that wins everything for his team, his race will end up winning. So it's a really fun, excellent format. No mirror matchups or anything like that. Yeah, hope that you guys enjoy. All right, so we're on Eclipse, and right now I realize that I haven't actually told you who these guys are. This is YSC, a very strong Protoss player, very much up and coming right now under the ID Tulbo. And then, of course, under S. Abe, this is Yabsab. And Yabsab is very well respected, very high-end Zerg player, but again, hasn't had the great ASL result as of yet. He got first or second place. No, yeah, he first or anyway, top 4 in ACS. I'm trying to remember exactly his placement. But yeah, anyways, he's really, really, really strong. We've actually cast a lot of games of him here on ArtosisCasts, so you can check those out if you would like. Anyways, we see that Probe did block with the Manor Pylon, that Natural Hatchery. A lot of Lings popping out now as well. It is a Gateway expansion opener here for YSC. He ran the Zealot down the side, but decides to turn it around and bring it back home. Now, we see that a hatchery has been made at the 3rd base here. And no big surprise there. I mean, if you're getting blocked, you still need to get that hatchery up pretty darn quickly. So one Zealot sits on the ramp, and in fact, he pulls back both for now. Okay. Definitely an important thing if they are sending in those Lings early on. You cannot let them get into the main base. It's much easier to hold at the ramp than to chase them around your main. So already one Ling getting picked off, and honestly, you can't really do anything with these 4 Lings at this point. He's looking for a surround on the singular Zealot, but there's no way that YSC will lose this Zealot. It's not going to happen. Unless he, like, just lets it sit there. Unless he just lets it sit there and fight, and he does lose it. Trust me, he wasn't supposed to lose that Zealot. That was not how that was supposed to go down. Because 4 Zerglings do beat a single Zealot, but, what you do is you pull it back when they start attacking and have other units help it, and then it just dominates. But anyways, whatever. It's not the end of the world. YSC going to throw the Forge down now, getting his Zealots into the wall. You can see the gas has already been started, so he's trying to optimize as much as possible here. Can't quite fit in that Cybernetics core or anything, but that's okay. He'll be getting that next, no doubt. Looking over at Yabsab's base, he is going for the quick layer. We don't really have a scout out on the map, so this is very likely going to have to be a Zealot push out. What's likely is we'll see a cannon get started after the Cybernetics core, and then he can maybe just push out with the Zealots. Okay, so actually he opts to send out just 2 right now. So leaves 2 in the wall, and you can see this little mini game of micro happening where the Zealots pop out to hit the Lings hitting the gate, and then the other Lings try to go up over the side, and if you don't bring your Zealot right back, you run in, and you get that full scout info. Now, these 2 Zealots only went halfway, turning around now. He needs to be careful, and this is why I was talking about he'll probably make a cannon and send all of the Zealots, because 2 are really easy to make a few more Lings and surround and kill, and if you're just throwing away, like he already lost that one Zealot kind of sloppily, and then if you throw away 2 more, suddenly you don't really have the numbers you need to put on pressure closer to the mid game, right? So he does send another one. Notice how he's keeping that choke completely clogged. More Lings coming. More Lings being rallied in. YSC backing up. Doesn't want to lose these Zealots. Okay, here you go. And see, the cannon is finished now. All the Zealots are moving out. Zergling speed is on the way, but not finished yet. With Zergling speed, you can definitely infiltrate and get past this cannon. And you see the way that he's moving with these Lings. I think that right now, YSC has a decent idea that this is what's happening. Okay, he sees Zergling finish. The Lings try to run by. Probes need to be pulled, I think. You don't want to just leave this open. Okay, he drills them up towards the main base. And it looks like he thinks twice about it. Oh, he actually runs in and goes after this Yabsab. Gonna bust the cannon immediately. The second cannon does get canceled as well, but the probes come down and get a beautiful surround off onto these Lings, losing a couple of them. But this is quite a few Zerglings that are going down. Another block at the side. YSC, though. Ooh, is he gonna lose more probes? He does. Another probe goes down. Ooh, a beautiful drill right there with that probe. Using that mining to save it. So now all the Lings have been cleared up. Another cannon is on the way. We have 4 Zealots walking across the map. A couple more coming out with that Corsair as well. Single Zealot did make his way over here during all this. I actually hadn't noticed that. Doesn't look like he has any kills. And a couple mutas being made. Now we can see on the production tab here, air weapons are on the way. The Citadel as well. So yeah, YSC is getting ready for a decent amount of Corsairs, which he's definitely going to need because these mutas are going to be popping out and going to be a threat if he does not get those Corsairs. Now, one Zealot going off at the natural, the others going towards the main. He is going to be able to see the mutas pop out, so this is super helpful. This will give him time. The mutas kind of have to fight the Zealots. Look at this, going after that Spire. There's so little damage output. It looks like he might actually end up killing this off. Starting to spread these out a little bit, trying to avoid the glaives for maximum damage. Some good drilling from Yabsab, and he is going to end up saving this at 47 health. In the meantime, a couple Zealots over here at that third base. Push the drones away immediately, and they don't really have much else to do, so why not attack an Evolution Chamber? Gonna get picked off. Looks like, oh, they actually pick off a drone, so maybe Yabsab being a little bit greedy coming back that early. I tell you though, I feel like YSC did a pretty decent job with this, and of course it was a really good drone drill. If he hadn't microed heavily with the drones here, this Spire could have died. And if you kill the Spire in any matchup, if you kill the Zerg Spire, it's like the #1 tech building that you want to kill. It's because, like, I mean, mutas and Scourge are just so strong, right? So if you kill that off, you're feeling absolutely fantastic. You know how many mutas they have out. You know how many mutas you're going to see, because they can't just, like, rebuild the Spire then keep going mutas. They're going to have to go into Hydras. And having control of that narrative is powerful. So I like the moves. I like the ideas from YSC. But at the end of the day, taking a look at this is not the end of the world, the damage that was done to him, right? We have some good amount of hatcheries. It's on 5 hatch right now. 1 Evolution Chamber, getting the Hydralisk speed upgrade. In the meantime, YSC with +1 attack already done, getting into that armor. A good 5 Corsair stack is ready as well. He's making a 6th and a 7th. Templar Archives is on the way. Zealot Legs is going to be finishing here very shortly also. Now, 4 Scourge, 5 mutas. The Corsairs absolutely can beat this. He's got to be careful for those Scourge, though, of course. Muta's just kind of patrolling outside. Not entirely sure if he realizes that the Zealots are all the way down there. Seems like that was a smart move. Oh, picking off 2 of the Scourge. You basically have to turn around and run now. Going in with 2 more Scourge, but actually he decides to turn and fight him. They do get that connection. So a nice move there from Yabsab, making the best of a bad situation. Now he's going to loop the mutas back, and there has to be some randomization of this because the Corsairs will absolutely wreck them. So right now, the muta's going to hit at the natural. Now the Corsairs turn around to give chase. In the meantime, the Speed Zealot's going to come in, but plenty of units here will push them back. The muta's still doing their harassment job. Still 5 of them left here. And he's going to be able to pick off a good amount of probes because he targets the one behind. This one was trapped purposefully to make it so the Corsairs would stack up. Now, splitting these mutas off, notice how he's splitting them in every direction. This is to keep the splash off, to get away with as many as he can. And it looks like 2 of the mutas will make it out, which, if you keep them stacked up together, 0 do. So that was a good move. Now, a couple DTs have been added in. This is kind of a cute move. This is something that looks kind of modern to me, right? Like, you have all these speed +1 Zealots, and then you're adding a couple DTs, and the DTs do massive amounts of damage. And if the Corsairs can push back Overlords, the DT damage output is going to really change battles into your favor very, very quickly. And of course, the Zealots you want to kind of lead with, and they're faster anyways, so they can tank that damage from the Hydras while you push out the Overlords. Now look, it looks like that's what he wants to do. He checks for the 4th, no 4th base yet. Is he going to actually hit, though? This is a lot of Hydras on a ramp. I'm not sure that you want to try to go up that ramp with 3 hatches up there reinforcing, but it looks like he does. He pulls the Hydras to the side. The Corsairs diving in on top of these Overlords now. And look at this, the DTs making their way back to that mineral line, helping out with the Hydras as well, zoning out these Overlords. Notice a ton of Overlords coming up with that speed upgrade now. The DTs being pulled back. He's going to go after that Evolution Chamber. A great choice indeed. Going to stop that +2 attack. The Corsairs come around the side, try to hit the Overlords, but with the speed upgrade, unable to do as much as they were hoping. Look at this, though. YSC getting insane damage. Oh, my God. The Corsairs fly in once again and are picking off Overlords left and right. Dude, that was crazy, actually. Fantastic moves from YSC. I think he controlled that amazingly. I think tactically, that was super sound what he was going for. But let's take a look of where we're at. So, Yabsab, he definitely took some damage. He lost a lot of Overlords. He lost a lot of Hydras. He lost +2 attack. He lost some drones. But he just made 13 drones as that unit set got pushed out. 55 workers against 44. This is not something that's very common to see. Normally, Protoss will have more workers. But YSC, right? He put a lot of money into this. Like, he had a lot of Corsairs and everything. He was producing really steadily on his Zealot count before adding the gateways. So his army's not all that big right now. And with the type of economy that Yabsab has, plus the 6 hatcheries, he's going to be able to field a lot of Hydras. And with that Lurker upgrade on the way as well, you're kind of forced to go into Dragoons. You're forced to go into Observers, which will cut into that High Templar count a little bit. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm singing the praises of our Protoss player, and I think he is playing really well, but Yabsab is still looking strong. All right, the Dragoons getting pushed back. This one Muta working on those. Ooh, a nice storm. The Hydras get dragged through a little bit. 4 of them fall immediately. With the Speed Zealots come back, of course, these do have to back up. These Speed Zealots will absolutely destroy this small group of Hydras. The one Muta continuing to follow the Zealots. I mean, it's spotting where they're at. That's useful, at least. Some Scourge coming up to help deal with these Corsairs. They will kill off that Muta. And the Hydras turn to fight for now. Corsairs continue to move down. We do have that 4th base being taken by Yabsab. A lot of Lurkers being morphed as well in front of his natural base. Has that +2 attack back being researched. +2 armor is on the way here for YSC, which is very, very nice. Very trendy nowadays to get that +2 armor quickly. Now the Lurker's coming out. So he's going to go for a nice spread here. But with Speed Overlords and Hydras, you might end up losing that Observer. You got to be careful with that. Definitely something that they're looking to pick off. Nice storms on those morphing Lurker eggs. He forces a cancel and kills a couple Hydras with it as well. And now going to pull back. Look at this nice army right now. I like the roaming, and I like the Corsairs coming in from odd angles looking to pick off some Overlords and get some additional intel. Now look at this. He gets back just in time to head off a small counterattack here from Yabsab, which is very important because his 3rd base just must go up. So YSC, it looks like he's not going to have too much problem zoning everything back and getting that 3rd base, which is, again, very important. He needs that additional gas income, no doubt. Still only on 44 probes, though, so that's a little bit low, but he is fielding a relatively large army size. Let's take a look at what he's got at home. Okay, so we have 8 gates total. That's a 2-base production. +2 armor almost done. Transferring quite a bit of probes over here. Throwing up a few defensive photon cannons as well. But honestly, against this kind of Lurker Hydra defense, I think YSC at this point, like, it's good to poke in, see what you can do. But if he fully commits an attack, I don't think there's any chance he wins it. So I think right now he's got to kind of think about building out his own economy, continue to get his upgrades, continue to build the quality of his army, i.e. adding more High Templars. But he is trying to push right now. He's throwing down these Psy Storms. Nice storms on those Hydras, and the Zealots coming in after the Dragoons have already done a very good amount of damage. Where are the rest of the units? All down here. He's only engaging with like a third of his army, and immediately YSC is going to be able to roll through a lot of that. Brings up the rest, though. Is Yabsab going to be able to push him back? It looks like he should just barely with his next round of reinforcements. Push him back there, but definitely a little bit of a misplay, not getting into position quickly enough against YSC's army. But even so, YSC loses everything. And he's on 44 probes. I don't think this is a very good position. Like, I think Yabsab basically has it after that. You know, when your opponent goes for a kind of defensive Hydralisk Lurker setup like that, I think as Protoss, you're really supposed to kind of work on your expansions. Again, build out your High Templar count. Continue to get your upgrades. Because the Hydra Lurkers don't scale as well as the Protoss army when you get up towards max, right? Like, you have 10 High Templars. You have 20 Psy Storms. It doesn't matter how many Hydras they have. You're going to eat through them. But when you're kind of spending, like, your 5, your 6 High Templars, losing all of your Dragoons, then remassing Mass Zealot and a few Storms, this isn't going to do as well. And you can see Yabsab coming in with a massive Hydras now. He weathers the 1 or 2 Storms that are here, flanks in, micros his Hydras frantically, and now what is YSC to do? Single High Templar looks like a bad rally here, walking all the way forward, unfortunately. Pulls back, he has 3 cannons here, so like maybe he holds on to that for now, but yeah, this is a terrible position. He's just trying to mass out of those same gateways. His overall army quality has gone really, really far down. And now we're starting to see Lings made. We're starting to see a bunch more Lurkers being made as well. We have triple Evolution Chamber. Yabsab's macro starting to explode. He's even on the Hive Tech. So getting that Adrenal upgrade is just like one of the best upgrades in the entire game. And yeah, it looks to me like we have a dead Protoss at this point. I think it was a really nice early game and really nice mid game from him, but definitely that one big committed attack here into that kind of defensive position was probably not going to do it for him. And Yabsab really punishing, way far ahead at this point. And I mean, I think he's got one battle left in him. Good old YSC. Let's take a look. Yabsab taking a 5th base. Sending over a little bit of defense. Looks like a Zealot kind of scouting this out. YSC has to be wondering what's going on with that. In the meantime, there is a Defiler Mound. He's getting consumed right now. Of course, that is going to be just such a pain in the butt to deal with. I'm sure he'll get Plague shortly thereafter. Decent amount of High Templars coming over. I have 5 here with an okay Dragoon count, but look at the supply differential. 152 to 109. It's just, I mean, when Zerg has more supply, you know something went wrong. And yeah, I think we're just going to see a GG here. He is losing just so much. Throwing down some Psy Storms, but as they're being used, the Zerglings coming in with that Adrenal upgrade, 1/1 upgrades as well. And there's really nothing left here for our Protoss player, YSC. Looks like as Team Zerg going to be taking game number 1. Team Protoss having a hard time at things. GG, Yabsab wins.